Hi, Sharon. Thank you so much for that introduction. Uh,
So,
Hi, everyone,
hi.
into this call. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to be part of this conversation. I'm going to try my best to share, as much insight as I can on the topic, that we're talking about today. So first and foremost, I'd just like you to listen and following closely, right? Building a global brand has the same foundational tenets as building a brand, right? The same basics apply, the same foundations apply, right? And what are some of those foundations, right? When you're building a brand, you must understand and make sure that you solidify, along the following lines. First and foremost, building a brand, there's something we call delivering on your brand promise, right? Which basically speaks to, there are two major things I will share here, which basically speaks to doing what you've promised to do. Now, every business is in existence based on a specific set of deliverables that a business is communicating to the market it can offer, either as a product or as a service, right? So you have your brand promise. I'll use a brand like Coca-Cola, for example. Coca-Cola has been in existence now for, 30 plus years. And I am yet to one day open a bottle of Coca-Cola and see an ant inside or see a bug inside. That company has consistently delivered on its brand promise for over 30 years. So you want to build a successful brand, that first point is your first touch, right? That's your first foundation. You must be clear as to what you do, who you are, what you do, and you must consistently deliver on that promise. The second thing in building your brand that you want to be very conscious about is the experience your market has with your brand, right? And I say this often, right? You have to be very conscious about every touch point to your business, right? Because people will not forget how they were treated. And so when I see a lot of businesses take this particular point for granted, right? You'll see big businesses become very, very, what's that word? Become very careless when it comes to who they are staffing at their front desk, right? Become very careless as to who is handling the business line that customers are calling in, regarding that business. Become careless about the security guards who are at the gates, the first touch individuals that your customers come in contact with when they're coming into your business premises. You must design the experience your customers have with your brand through and through. You must be deliberate about who sits at your front desk. You must be deliberate about who answers the email inquiries, right, and customer conversations. You must be deliberate about who responds when a customer places a call through to your business. You must be deliberate about who responds when customers try to reach you via DM on Instagram. So you have to be very deliberate on every point that customers are able to come in contact with your business, right? Because that directly speaks to the experience that your customers are going to have, right, with your business. Then you must also be very conscious about how you deliver that brand promise, how you execute your value offering, right? Again, like I said, I am yet to open a bottle of Coke and see an ant or a fly in there, right? You have to be conscious, or it tastes different, or it even, like, it's the consistency is just mad. It's top notch. Is just on another level, right? And you want to be very, very directly involved in the experience your customers have with your business, right? This is extremely important. Now, These two things, right, that I've described, delivering on your brand promise and curating an excellent experience for your customers, for me, form major, major, foundations for your brand, right? In the business and venture that you're pursuing, you must lay that foundation. Now, once that foundation is laid, right, and like I said, whether it's a local brand, whether it's a global brand, that foundation is the same. Once that foundation is laid, when we're now going to the specific, some points that are more towards when you're trying to scale into a global landscape, when you're trying to scale your brand globally, right? What are a few things you must be conscious about, right? One major thing that you must be conscious about is compliance and regulation, right? Different parts of the world have different structures for different industries and sectors. So you must do your research properly, right? Of what it would take for you to function in that economy, or what it would take for you to function in that business space, right? So you must do the research, you must understand the regulatory and compliance issues around that industry. This is extremely important. Then also you must do some research to understand the cultural nuances of where you are trying to scale your business into, right? And a good way to do that is to do a research on the competitors, right? On your competitors in that industry. So it's to do a research on organizations that are already functioning in those places, right? And how they are functioning. That will give you some insights into the modus operandi of that place. It will help you understand the pricing mechanisms in that market, because the way you will price in market A is not how you will price in market B, right? It will help you understand the pricing mechanism in that economy, in that industry. It will help you understand customer buying process. How are customers currently purchasing? How are customers currently purchasing this product or this service that you want to begin to offer in that space, right? Except what you are doing is something that no one has done before, which is a very rare, subcategory, rare case. But, how are customers buying? You must understand the customer journey from the perspective of what is already in existence, right? Do not make the mistake of just trying to enter into a new space entirely on the experience of where you're coming from. So you're just trying to lift your current framework from pricing to marketing and advertising to customer support and relations, and then you just want to take that framework and just lift it and dump it into this new space. Is not going to work. You have to do the research. You must understand the context. You must understand the modus operandi of that place before you now begin to deploy your business into that area, into that category, because that will help increase your chances of succeeding. Will help increase your chances of succeeding. So for me, the few things that I've said form critical portions of growing a brand, right? Of growing a brand from start and growing it consistently over time, and then also deploying it into a new space. And the last point that I will share is, depending again, well, even no matter what the nature of your business is, this is applicable, but the application is now where there'll be differences. But look for healthy partnerships, right? In the value chain of your business, in the value chain of your industry, look for partnerships that will help give you a soft landing. So look for partnerships, right? Those partnerships will help open doors. They will help and hold you, and then they will help take you from point A to point B in this new space that you're entering into, right? So the few things that I've shared for me are very critical in terms of building your brand and scaling it globally. Right? I'll be able to share. And then if you have any questions, I can just quickly take them and then.
I have one question that I just need to clarify. Well, you've spoken about, you've touched on everything from the consistency in brand promise to design the experiences and be conscious of the touch points that leads to your business. The staffing, you've talked on executing the brand promise and the compliance and regulation, like partnership and collaboration, you've talked about everything. But so let's say someone's point A right now is I'm in Nigeria, right? I'm in Nigeria and I have this small business I'm doing. I probably do about 100, I have 100 loyal customers, for instance. What are the processes I have to start with first to launch myself into the global space? Because I know everything you've talked on here has something to do with building systems and putting structure in place for your business. Because with that system and structuring
Mhm.
comes the staffing, the experience, regulations, and all of that. But how do we get ready
Yeah.
for that pace? What are the steps you think that we can use to go from this point A to point B being um known to some certain extent in a different country?
Right. So, specifics again sometimes are affected by the nature of the business,
Yeah.
right, and the industry you're playing in. But from a generalist viewpoint, when you're thinking customer acquisition,
Mm.
right, or market share acquisition, right, once you're past the regulatory and compliance issues, then you start to concentrate energy and strategy on marketing and advertising, right? Because the question there is, how are you going to reach your customers? That's what you need to figure out, right? Are you going to reach them online through targeted advertising, or are you going to reach them traditionally
Yeah.
through word of mouth, one-on-one, type advertising? But your customer acquisition strategy is what you need to design, right? Because that is how you are, just the scenario you described. So you're doing a business here, you have a customer base, but you want to scale that into an international customer base. So the first question you need to answer is, where are your customers? Are your customers online, right? Are they in communities? Are they in clubs, social clubs? Are they in WhatsApp groups? Are they where are your customers? That's the first thing you need to figure out, right? Once you've done the research and found where your customers are, then you now need to craft your strategies on how you are going to reach them. Like I said, so are you going to do online? Because you can't just throw stuff into the air, right, and expect things to fall back down in an arranged manner, right? So you can't just start doing advertising online. It doesn't quite work that way, right? So first of all, like I said, you must find where your customers are. Then you must design how you're going to reach them. Of course, where they are is the critical factor that will determine how they'll be reached. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is the critical factor that will determine how they'll be reached. But when you are trying to do that scale, that's why I said partnerships. Because you are a new entity in that space, your customer acquisition cost will be extremely high. Where if you're just expecting an individual or a business in that space to just take up your product offering, you're a total stranger, right? You're a total stranger. So it will be a lot more difficult for you to achieve that way. So partnerships will help make it easier. So for example, in that specific, again, I already said, where is your market? So in that specific place where your market is, you need to find first and foremost the kind of partnerships that will help you open doors, right? And that will give you some sort of familiarity with the market. So you're not a total stranger to them, right? So that's why I mentioned partnerships. Partnerships is one way that will help you do that. So if you're trying to because you have to do the groundwork, like I said, don't make the mistake of thinking that you're just going to do online marketing and then that's it. And then you just set your targeting to United States and you start doing marketing. Well, you can do that, but again, like I said, your CAC is very high. But if you're able to find somebody, for example, that is a part of maybe one particular group or community, maybe a women-based community or something, right? They have a Telegram group or a WhatsApp group. That person is able to do an introduction on that group for you, and then you are able to start a direct sale to that group. You can see that the customer acquisition cost for this strategy will be much lower. You'll be able to close out customers faster, this way than just throwing marketing into the air and doing sponsored ads.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because you are not indigenous to that place. You are not indigenous to that place, and you've not yet built the brand power like, say, Zara or a Louis Vuitton that is already so globally and widely known that once you see an ad from them, you are still an unknown entity. So, and how you build that brand power again, once you've crossed all the basics that I said, the quality of your narrative, the quality of your marketing and advertising, you get in terms of, how do I describe this now? In terms of awareness, right? So there's the awareness level. You want people to be aware, so you don't have to spend money on marketing, right? In that space. So let me break it down this way. There is marketing and there's sales, right? Marketing is for awareness.
Yeah.
Sales is to acquire customers, to get revenue, right? And you have to act on both. So the partnership strategy will help you on the sales level because you are coming in direct touch with potential buyers, potential customers, right? So that is a sales strategy. While what you're doing online, marketing and advertising, is to build an awareness for your brand. So on that awareness level, the quality of what you are putting out will matter. The quality of your storytelling, the quality of your narrative, the quality of what do you call it? The quality of your ads, right? And the structure behind those ads, those things will count. So when people see your ad, when you're creating an awareness and they see your ad, the quality of that has to speak to them in the way that communicates that your business has the capacity to do what you are offering. Do you understand what I'm saying? So everything that I've said has to come together and you have to apply them consistently. So marketing is awareness. You do, of course, that is budget-based as well. You do the awareness that you can do. You create that awareness. But if that's the only approach you take, your customer acquisition cost will be higher than if you then look at sales strategies that can bring you in direct contact. So, for example, fairs, right? Attending a product fair, right, where different vendors have set up and then people are coming, do you understand, to interact with potential sellers, right? So that's a sales strategy, right? Gives you some awareness, but it takes you directly to the customer. So those kinds of strategies, those kinds of partnerships, those kinds of physical touch base are the things you have to find and put in place, to start actually generating revenue from that place. All right? Yeah. So thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And remember, as Mr. Debola has emphasized, building a global brand requires careful planning and execution. And I want you to remember these key takeaways as you go today. 1. Align your brand promise with consistent, exceptional customer experiences that touches across all your brand touch points. 2. Leverage the power of social media to connect with your audience and build a global community. 3. Establish strong organizational structures and systems to ensure smooth operations as you scale. And 4. Foster healthy partnerships and collaboration to amplify your reach and expertise. 5. Always research and understand the legal landscape of any country that you plan to enter. Conduct thorough research to deeply understand the preferences and needs of your target audience in each market. Do you want to join a community of entrepreneurs and business leaders who are working to take their brand to the next level and have webinars like these, live sessions, exclusive content and resources, opportunities to collaborate and connect with others from around the globe? Make sure you click the link in the description right now to join our WhatsApp group, and you can subscribe to get more contents like this. This webinar holds every month, and I'll be so glad to see you in the next one. Thank you.